Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Faith and Finance Podcast. I'm Nick. So glad you joined me. Thank you for being here. I am in part 3 of 4. We've been talking about a snake in your bed, and that's kind of the metaphor that we've been exploring. So if you want to check out parts 1 and 2, you're welcome to do so. I'd highly recommend it. It will help set the stage for what we're talking about today. In part 1, we met the snake, okay, a metaphor for kind of the quiet danger of accumulating wealth. In part 2, we challenged that metaphor and kind of critiqued it because I don't believe wealth is a predator. I believe it's a God-given tool that can be dangerous when it's mishandled. So how do we hold both of these truths at the same time? Well, that's part 3 today, the Christian financial paradox. Pastor John Wesley put it this way in his rather famous sermon on the topic. He said, earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Now, Pastor John, that sounds great, buddy. But how are we to do 3 seemingly incompatible things at the same time? Well, that's the paradox. So just to define our terms here, a paradox is essentially 2 truths that seem to contradict each other, but ultimately point to a deeper truth. So on one side, we have save, be wise, plan for the future, and provide for your household, all that good stuff. And Scripture's clear that that's very important to do. But on the other side, we have give, sacrificially, now, not from your leftovers, but from your first fruits, and not once you've made it and you're just scraping cream off the top of your financial independence number, but while it still costs you something, right? Now, most of us really dislike tension. And so we tend to pick one side as default over the other. Some people become savers who give occasionally, responsible, disciplined, but it's really generous in a way that actually hurts. Okay, their primary orientation toward life is saving. Then you have other people on the opposite side that are impulsive givers that find themselves constantly giving away, and therefore, honestly, some of them are even financially fragile because they're a little bit reckless, and they think they can confuse recklessness with faith and obedience. And honestly, I didn't cover this in the written portion, but there are the earners as well. I've heard people talk about being kind of gifted with the ability of just earning a lot of money, earning a really big income, and they can devote themselves to earning all they can, kind of at the expense of other ways in which they could be using their time, right? Well, I instead of serving in this capacity or being a part of that ministry or fill in the blank, I am instead choosing to pour myself into my business where I am earning a lot of money. That's my primary gifting at the season, and so I'm pouring myself into it so that I will then have more to give, more to enjoy, more to save, etc. Wesley was not describing 2 or 3 options, right? He was describing one cohesive way of life. And I want to explore that through a metaphor. Now, God has given us many metaphors to help illustrate the necessity of giving. To illustrate the necessity of living in this tension instead of seeking to escape from it. Okay, and one of those metaphors is the apple tree. Now, there's a lot that I'm not going to include in today's writing, but the apple tree, I think, is a really fitting one that kind of covers all the pieces. But I mean, there's just a lot. There's water, there's grass, there's amphibians, there's et cetera. There's quite a few different metaphors we could explore. But the apple tree is a really interesting one. So a couple of fun facts about apple trees. I didn't know this. A single apple tree will produce about 500 apples per season. And each apple has on average, I think it's like 5 seeds, 3 to 5 seeds, something like that. So the average tree produces 1,500 seeds per season over about like 300 to 500 apples. So over a 50 to 80 year lifespan, one tree can actually produce about 100,000 seeds, which is bananas. Nah, just kidding. It's apples. Wow, that was a really bad dad joke. Anyway, it takes roughly 1,000 gallons of water per year to just sustain an apple tree. Okay, so 1,000 gallons of water to get about 500 apples and 1,500 seeds. So the water here, if you divide it out, it's about 2 gallons per apple, and each apple is about 85% water. So there's a lot of water going to, like, the apple itself is a very high water fruit. But the point is this: there's a ton of water going into that tree to sustain the tree. Okay, to produce the sap that delivers the nutrients to the branches to produce the fruit. A lot of that water, though, stays in the tree and goes to other uses not directly related to producing fruit. The reason that 85% was fascinating to me is because about 85% of, let's see, 2 gallons, 5 ounces, or 4.5, it's roughly like 15% or so of the water that a tree takes in goes toward fruit production, which is kind of a funny number when you think about it in the context of giving. It's like, it's kind of a natural example of a tithe plus a little bit. So, but the core point here is that the tree has to take in a lot of water to have a very healthy sap production, to then be able to produce the fruit that it's designed to produce, right? The tree is not existing to soak up water, produce sap, and enjoy the sap. The tree does not produce fruit for its own enjoyment. But the tree, in order to produce fruit, has to have a healthy base of water coming in and sap production within the tree. The water coming in represents your cash flow. The sap within the tree represents your wealth and your accumulated net worth. You have to have both to make your giving sustainable, right? If everything that comes to you is strictly given away immediately, well, you can only do that for so long before you now become the one in need, right? But for most of us, that's not the problem we have. For most of us, is that most of what comes to us stays with us. And that's not how the Lord designed our life to run. It's not how He designed our hearts to operate, or the system of our souls to exist was not designed around producing and enjoying fruit exclusively. There is a produce as much fruit as you can so that you have a lot to give to others kind of core component of life that so many of us neglect. And that's the paradox, right? It's not, should I work hard or should I not work hard? Should I save a lot or not save, or should I give or not? It's you should work very hard as you can, to earn as much as you can, to save as much as you can, and limit your lifestyle and deny yourself as much as you can, so you can give as much as you can. All right, all three together working in a beautiful harmony of production, preservation, and distribution. So, kind of just a closing thought question here, exercise for you. Is your financial water in your life, is it producing the fruit-bearing sap? Are you growing in your net worth so that you have a stable foundation on which to support yourself in your latter years? Or has sap accumulation become the default, right? Are you overspending? Are you undersaving? Are you undergiving? Where's an area that perhaps you need to invite the Lord's gentle correction? And again, the purpose is not, the goal is not giving until it hurts. The goal is not pain in giving, right? The goal is joy. The goal is ultimate joy. And just like Jesus told the rich young ruler, go and sell all you have and give to the poor, and then you will have treasure in heaven. The goal is treasure, real treasure, abiding treasure. Okay. So I hope that thought encourages you today, and I hope you'll join me next week for part 4.